They came from my easement on a Tuesday morning. No warning, no phone call, no letter slipped under the door the night before. Just a crew of HOA workers. Orange cones lined up across my field, a surveyor with a tripod, and a woman in a blazer holding a clipboard like she owned the place. I was sitting on my porch, coffee in hand, watching them from across the yard. I didn't move. I didn't say a word, because I knew something they didn't. Something that had been sitting quietly in a filing cabinet in my hallway for over 20 years. And the moment they sent that certified letter, they woke it up. My name is Dale Harmon. I've lived on this land for 22 years. But this property didn't start with me. My grandfather Roy bought this land in 1961, back when this valley was nothing but open fields, dirt roads, and fence posts as far as you could see. When he passed, it came to my father. When my father passed, it came to me. 3 generations of Harmons on the same soil. And buried in that history was a legal fact so powerful, so ironclad, that when it finally came out, it didn't just stop the HOA, it dismantled them completely. Before I get into that, if you've ever had an HOA treat your property like it belongs to them, drop a comment right now. You are not alone. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, because what happens next is something you will not see coming. The Maplewood Ridge HOA was formed in 2003. A developer named Curtis Webb built 47 homes on farmland bordering my property. Nice homes, big driveways, the kind of neighborhood where people hold emergency meetings over paint colors. From day one, they looked at my farmhouse like it was an error the universe had made, and they were appointed to correct it. The early years were small irritations, a letter about my truck on the grass, a notice about my barn being a nuisance, a complaint about my dogs barking before 8. I ignored all of it. My land was never part of their HOA. I never signed a single document. My property predated their development by over 40 years. They had zero authority over me, but they kept sending letters, kept pushing, testing how far they could go. I let them push. I kept every letter, filed them in a drawer, and waited. Then, in March, Brenda Calloway made the mistake that ended her presidency. Brenda was the HOA president. Sharp dresser, a loud voice in every room, kind of person who mistakes confidence for competence. She sent me a certified letter claiming the easement on the eastern edge of my property was now under HOA jurisdiction. Her legal team had reviewed the records, she said. She demanded I remove my equipment, take down my fence near the boundary, and grant their grounds crew permanent, unrestricted access. 30 days to comply or face legal action. I read that letter once, then again, then a third time, and then I smiled. Because what Brenda and her entire legal team never bothered to check was the original deed, not the HOA's paperwork, not the developer's 2003 survey. The original, the 1961 deed my grandfather signed when he first bought this land. That easement wasn't just a dirt path along my fence. That road was the only road connecting all 47 Maplewood Ridge homes to the county highway. Every car, every school bus, every delivery truck, every ambulance, every fire truck, all of it used that road. And according to the 1961 deed, that road sat entirely on Harmon family property. My grandfather had granted a private, courtesy easement. Private, revocable, with 2 specific legal conditions protecting the landowner: no unauthorized jurisdiction claims, and no interference with the landowner's property rights. Brenda's letter had violated both, in writing, on official HOA letterhead, signed by her own hand. I want to ask you something right here. Have you ever had someone come after something your family built and passed down for generations? Drop it in the comments. And if this story is hitting different, hit that like button now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. I called the county recorder's office the next morning. 4 days later, a thick envelope arrived. I spread every page across my kitchen table and confirmed exactly what I already knew. The road belonged to the Harmons. It always had. Then I called Frank DeLuca, our family's land attorney for 15 years. Quiet man, the kind of lawyer who speaks slowly because he's already 3 steps ahead of everyone else. I read Brenda's letter over the phone. Long pause. Then he said, "Dale, do you understand what they just did to themselves?" I told him I had a pretty good idea. He said, "They handed you everything." Frank's response letter went out within the week. 4 pages. Full easement history back to 1961. Original deed attached. 3 state statutes cited. And 1 final paragraph Brenda never saw coming. A formal notice that we were initiating a legal review of the entire easement. and that access through the private Harmon Road may be restricted pending its outcome. The HOA lawyer responded. In 2 days, the tone had completely collapsed. Gone was every trace of legal confidence. Now it was all we believe a misunderstanding may have occurred, and our client hopes to resolve this amicably. I read it aloud to Frank. We both laughed. But we weren't. Frank filed a quiet title action with the county court to permanently establish Harmon's ownership of that road, removing any ambiguity forever. We also filed a formal complaint with the state HOA Oversight Board with full documentation attached. 3 weeks later, Brenda Calloway resigned. No announcement, no farewell, just gone. The quiet title action wrapped up 4 months later. The court confirmed full Harmon ownership. HOA paid our legal fees, and they were required to send a written notice to all 47 homeowners, informing them that the road they used every single day was private Harmon property, accessible only at our discretion. I heard several neighbors were furious. Not at me. At Brenda, I heard she moved out shortly after. I still drink my coffee on that same porch every morning. The road is still there. The orange cones are long gone. And every time I watch a car roll out of Maplewood Ridge, I think about a woman in a blazer with a clipboard who walked onto my land like she already owned it. She never once stopped to ask whose ground she was standing on. She should have asked, if this story gave you that satisfying feeling, smash that like button. It takes 1 second. Subscribe if you haven't. We post every week. And tell me in the comments, if you were Dale, would you have kept that road open or shut it down completely? See you in the next one.